You're watching Fox 4 News at 8 a.m.
8:31 on a Tuesday. A very good morning to you. I'm Nick Vassos.
And I'm Pat McGonigal. Very hot week. So you know what we have on tap, Nick?
What do we have for the second half hour?
July's National Ice Cream Month.
I did not know that.
So in honor of that, we have an ice cream historian.
Really?
Coming up in our next segment. Yeah, he's been on our program before. He's a very entertaining guy.
Okay, very good. I didn't know there were such folks.
Oh, yes.
Ice cream would be the way to go today on a hot summer day.
Did you know July is National Ice Cream Month, and with the big heat wave expected over the next few days, what better way to cool off than with a tasty, frosty treat? And I always find I enjoy a treat better when I know a little bit of the backstory. So joining us this morning, celebrity historian Raffi Andonian, to educate us on the history of ice cream in the U.S. and here in Missouri. And a lot of people don't maybe appreciate this, Raffi. Missouri has a very esteemed place in the history of ice cream. And I'm not just blowing smoke here.
It does, and as does the Midwest in general, because the Midwest in the 19th century is where a lot of ice cream innovation is what was happening. Like ice cream soda, you guys were just covering, the story on ice cream is floats. Ice cream sundaes. And speaking of ice cream sundaes, and one of the Missouri tie-ins is, of course, in St. Louis. For some time, they had the record for the largest ice cream sundae. You want to take a guess how big it was?
Oh, boy. I was 8 feet.
No, 9,616 pounds. It was in the Guinness Book of World Records.
Oh, my word.
Believe it or not. Now, speaking of St. Louis, now, of course, there's a story about the ice cream cone that originates there. Not quite true. It is popularized in the World's Fair that is in St. Louis, right here in Missouri. But the ice cream cone predates that. But it does show that, the Midwest played a role in shaping ice cream history. Also, milkshakes started in the Midwest.
Come on.
And they were promoted as a health drink at some point.
Get out of here.
That's what I'm going to use when I'm going to dig into these. I'm going to think about it as a health drink.
Well, so you went through the trouble to bring in these flavors here. You got to tell us what we're looking at here.
Sure. I brought some really summery flavors. So this one is from One More Scoop right here in KC. You got bubblegum, creamsicle, and mint chocolate chip. Okay, like the coolness, right, for the summer. And then this here is from Betty Ray's. This is strawberry, kind of a classic. But you ready for this? Speaking of KC, that is Joe's barbecue flavor. That is a candied burnt end that is in the ice cream. A candied burnt end. So barbecue and ice cream. Yeah, you got to have that one. Perfect. That's it. Now, I like the bubble gum because of the different flavors in it.
That's incredible. I'm pretty sure I had this last year. You wouldn't think barbecue could be ice cream. But somehow this works.
That's right. And
it's the magic of ice cream, Raffi.
Now that's Kansas City meets Midwest, because again, Midwest had a lot of ice cream innovation. Kansas City, of course, known for our barbecue. The burnt ends right there. Now, last time I was here, we talked about barbecue. This time we're talking ice cream. Here we are merging the two. The stuff fits together.
It's unbelievable.
See?
And so what other little nuggets do you have about ice cream history?
Well, let's talk about how they got originated, where it came from, and maybe how it got to the U.S. real quick. So how it started was in ancient China, also in ancient Greece, ancient Rome, and in ancient Mesopotamia. Multiple places at once is how it began and how it has origins. And then in the Islamic world, in Turkey, where the word sherbet comes from.
Oh, really?
Yep, that's right. And
remember I told you I wasn't going to eat any of this?
Oh, there you go. I know, you were telling me that earlier, and now here you are. Now, the Persians also had a sweet noodle version of it. So what was the key here is in the Middle Ages, they discovered that salt brings down the freezing point of ice. That's part of the reason that you see salt thrown on the street, when it's icy.
Yeah,
now don't eat the stuff on the street. But when you put it in an ice cream situation, you can actually create the ice cream. That's part of the technology or the science behind it. So in the U.S., what happened is that stuff came across the Atlantic. So for example, George Washington had an ice cream maker, a mechanical ice cream maker, at his home in Mount Vernon in the 1780s. We have a record of it.
That's incredible.
That's right. You can actually go and visit and check it out.
That is so amazing.
That's right. Thomas Jefferson is another person. Jefferson, who was critical in ice cream in the United States, actually probably the most important, because he went to France as a diplomat to represent the United States.
I remember Jefferson in Paris.
That's right, in the 1780s.
Yeah.
He brought back with him a bunch of different ice cream kind of shapes, molds. If you have a record of that coming back across the Atlantic, wrote down many recipes like mac and cheese, French fries, and ice cream. One of the few recipes we have from Jefferson to this day.
Raffi, I wish we had more time, dude. I could listen. Where can people find you? I find you to be a fascinating guy.
For me, do celebrityhistorian.com, where we talk about all kinds of fun treats and history of all kinds of things around us.
Unbelievable. Raffi, thanks so much. And Again, I said, no, I'm not going to have any of that ice
You
cream.
can thank Jefferson for bringing it here.
Awesome. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Thomas Jefferson. All right, thanks, Raffi.